guys? Welcome to yet another episode of John Works Too Much. In this episode, we'll be on this ratty old garage. And I can say that because it's my garage. I wouldn't say that about anybody else's house. That's not nice. But this definitely needs some attention. As you can see over here, I have neglected it. If you want something to die of neglect, give it to me. I don't care if it's animal, mineral, or vegetable. If you're like, hey, here's this plant, just take care of it, I'm like, that's gonna die. In whatever amount of time it takes for you to give it to me, and then time to pass for it to die, it will take exactly that long, because I'm probably not gonna take care of it. And you're like, oh, here's a pet. I'm like, please don't. And then you'd be like, the pet's dead. I'm like, yep, I guess it starved or whatever. It was neglected. Same thing with my house. I need to work on my own house, but I've been working on everybody else's house. All right, so what we're gonna do is, this counts as our OSB layer. This counts as our shear strength, so I'm not gonna take it off. And we're just gonna put Hardie right over top of it. We don't need to have a vapor barrier on this because it's just a garage, so it's not gonna be insulated. Nobody's gonna live in it. There's not any heat transfer, so we don't have to worry about that. So before all you guys get all judgy and like, oh, John, why didn't you put a vapor barrier? That's why. Okay, so we're gonna put new Hardie on here. We got a whole pallet of it, a whole unit of it, whatever. Then get started. Also, we're probably gonna get started on some of this over here. This is my TV studio, which is magical. Much magic happened there. We shot commercials there last night, and I'm so excited to show them to you soon. So I want to tell you guys this, and a lot of you don't want to hear this. You, person that's watching this, will never be the best at anything. I'm sorry, it's the truth. You won't. You're not going to be the best at anything. So if you sit around waiting till like, I want to be the very best before I do anything, you'll never get anything done because you'll never be the best. There's always going to be somebody better than you. There's always going to be somebody worse than you. Get over it, okay? So just do something, all right? And here's another bit of advice for you. In your life, I see people always worried about like what other people think. And I'm like, why do you worry about what other people think? Let me tell you how this works. Here's the math on this, okay? Imagine this is all the people that you know. There are some that are gonna love you no matter what you do. Hopefully your parents, maybe your family, you got some friends, usually followers that have never met you on social media. Those people will love you no matter what you do. It doesn't matter. There's some people down here, they will hate you no matter what you do. No matter what, you could like hang the moon, you could cure their cancer, and they'd be like, I still hate you, because they're a miserable person. Or they just don't like you. Maybe they don't like the way your nose looks or something. Everybody in the middle, they could take your lead. They don't really care that much. So you could be sad about that, be like, everybody needs to treat me like I'm a king, or just live your life. Here's another thing. I see people, and they get in a relationship, and then they post everything on social media. I love you so much, gush, 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 whatever. Usually those are the people that are like, they have the most trouble in their relationships, right? The people that are quiet about it, you're like, oh, they're just living their life. Because here's the thing. Your relationship, not mine, I don't have one. Your relationship is not a democracy. Everybody doesn't get a say in your relationship or in your job, your career, or any decisions that you make for that matter. And when you give people permission to do that, then you give them permission to make you miserable. So just take that weight off of you and be like, you know what? I don't need this. I'm gonna live my best life. I live for an audience of one. That's me and God. That's it, the end. I suggest you do the same thing. We are gonna put some Hardie up here. Eventually, we're gonna do our part to cure world hunger. Just our part. And that will be getting lunch for ourselves. Hopefully other people will get their own lunch as nature intended. Hello. So today we got the far side done. We got this long side done. Big difference. Most of this, Kenny came and helped, and Drew came and helped, and I was just like, I love you guys. And another person that has no name has also been here and has been learning so much stuff and so helpful. Doesn't want to be put on camera yet because whatever. Anyway, so progress as promised. Now we're going to keep working on this tomorrow, probably in the rain. A lot of you guys want to criticize somebody who doesn't have as much experience as you. And let me tell you why you're a douche. Are you ready for this? Here's why you're a douche. I want you to cross your arms, okay? Now, I want you to cross your arms the other way. And you're gonna be like this. It doesn't feel right. It takes effort. You have to think about it, right? Now, here's the next thing I want you to do. Brush your teeth with your dominant hand. I'm right-handed. But then, switch over and brush your teeth with your non-dominant hand. Just try that tonight when you're brushing your teeth. I hope you brush your teeth at night. It's very important. Dental hygiene matters, okay? If you don't, like, why are my teeth rotting out? I don't know. Why do I have so many cavities and stuff? I don't know. I went to the dentist and he's like, you need a crown. I'm like, I know, right? And he's like, no, seriously, you need an implant. I'm like, I'm a boy. And he's like, it's for your tooth. I'm like, oh, sorry. Anyway, try that. And then once you try that and you end up poking yourself in the eyeball and getting stinging toothpaste all over your face and realizing like, I'm a real idiot with my left hand or your non-dominant hand, then don't go and criticize the person that's trying, because thank God they're trying. at least they're doing something, right? When you see a person that maybe is larger and they're running or they're at the gym or whatever, don't make fun of them, encourage them, right? Not in a condescending way. Oh, I got that mosquito. In a nice way. And when you see somebody trying to do something new, help them. It's the nice thing to do. All right, hope you have a wonderful night. See you in the morning. Good morning, or as I like to call it, afternoon. So today, look over there, Drew. We put that siding up, come back around. We also did this low siding, and now we're doing high siding. Now, I don't know if you can see this wasp up here. There's several of them. There was a lot. There's like a wasp metroplex, if you will, in this corner. And so I had to get up there and commit some genocide, right? Kenny, you witnessed this.
Yes, I did.
And whenever we did this the last time, you also witnessed the same thing. Tell us about this.
So it was a lot like I had a strong case of deja vu today, because in the past, when we had taken the siding off of this studio, swaths and swaths of wasps would fall, and it was the morning. It was actually probably the same time of year, and we had to play the stomp the wasp game.
Yeah,
they hit the ground because they're cold-blooded.
It's like whack-a-mole, yeah, but with wasps in your foot instead.
And there's a lot more at stake.
Yeah, because they sting.
Yeah. And so, anyways, John was up the ladder this time. I was standing on the ladder because it was sketchy, and the cameraman Drew was stomping wasps and batting them off the top of my head while John was pulling them out of his pocket.
So, true story. So I'm up there. It's pretty high up there, right? It's probably 1,000 feet or whatever. I'm not good with numbers. So I'm prying this stuff off, and I look down, and I'm covered in wasps. But they're, you know, it's early, and so they're kind of like, I don't know what I'm doing, just chilling here on your shirt. Yeah. And I look in my pocket, and there's a wasp right there, and I'm like, nope, because I got like a hammer, and I've got a bar in the other hand. And I'm like, I can't deal with this right now, so I'm trying to get the wasp off of me. Eventually I get back down to the ground. I'm like, take my wallet out, take my keys out, and there's a wasp in my pocket. And they're all, is that a wasp in your pocket? I'm like, nah, I'm just happy to see you.
Never mind.
All right, so the way that you get up here, we have a manual escalator, which we like to call a ladder. Some people call it stairs, but these are steeper stairs. Now, I want to tell you guys something that nobody will ever tell you, because probably they're heartless people and don't tell you stuff. What is it, Kenny? Don't oversell your product. You're close.
Yeah.
Right? So you own a business.
Yes.
Do you feel like you oversell your product?
No.
No. Why not?
Because I know exactly what my product is and exactly what it's worth.
Uh-huh. And so here's what happens. Allow me to explain this. Let's say that you're selling whatever your product is, a car, remodeling, it doesn't matter, whatever your service is, maybe you're a doctor, I don't know. You can sell until that person says yes. And once they sign, don't talk about your product again at all. Don't ever sell it. Change the subject. You can talk to them for the rest of the day about their kids, about the weather, about COVID, you name it, anything in the world, the color of the trees, like, I don't know, your favorite video game. Don't talk about your product anymore. Unless they bring it up, quickest answer you possibly can, move on with your day. When you oversell it, what happens?
Well, chances are they don't want to hear you talk about it over and over again, and if they do hear you talk about it, then they'll start to question whether or not you really know what you're talking about.
And they talk themselves out of it. And next thing you know, you're like, what I thought I had sold, they've already changed their mind. So don't do that. You gonna do anything fun tonight?
I'm gonna go home and chill out.
Chill out. I'm gonna go to a movie premiere for a 48-hour film festival I was in recently, so it's gonna be so exciting. I can't wait. It's gonna be red carpet. I'm gonna wear a tux. Probably more like a t-shirt, but either way.
Sandals?
Probably sandals, yeah. Okay. Show up and be like, oh, hey man. Oh, that's my movie. Yeah, I made that. I'm in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. All right, we're gonna get to work because we gotta do that sometimes. Hey there, man. So maybe you're having a bad day because there's some wasps that were trying to attack you and get in your pocket, and you're like, haha, none of these wasps stung me. But that's okay, because when I was up on a ladder, a freaking nail gun fell and hit me in the mouth, knocked my teeth out. So I'm gonna go to the dentist. We're done. We're done for the day. So, as you can clearly tell, I got my teeth back. Now, how did that happen so fast?
Yeah.
Have you ever like seen the racetracks and they're zipping around and all of a sudden like they lose a tire or I don't know, a hood or whatever in the world, and then all of a sudden they pull in and the pit crew comes and then back on the race, right? I had a pit crew like that, Star Dental. So they're over there off Green Oaks 20. Great people. I walked in, I was like, hey, got my teeth knocked out by a nail gun, smashed me in the mouth. And they're like this, okay, can you come back at 8:30 in the morning? I'm like, no. I just got my teeth smashed out. I'm not gonna walk around like this. I'm way too vain for that crap. So I was like, I can go here or somewhere else. I don't care. You want to take my money or not? I got cash. And they're like, I think we can fit you right in. I'm like, that's a good answer. I'm not gonna tell you what they gave me a price because it's a cash price and that was really good. But let me just say, use them. And several people have already asked for their number. So today we're gonna get up here and do some more high stuff. And I just want to say that when I'm in high places, there's a couple things I think about. What are they?
Definitely not looking down.
No, I don't care about that stuff.
I don't know.
There's a scripture in the Bible that says, you will stumble, but you will not fall. And I claim that all the time because I'm in some sketchy. I mean, have you ever seen me do something sketchy?
Yeah.
Like more than once?
A lot, more than once.
I think that probably OSHA has a whole like large book of things like not to do because they've secretly been filming me on YouTube where I just give it away for free. Then the other thing is pride comes before a fall, but humility comes before honor. Right? So I'll tell you what I don't want to be is prideful because I don't like falling. I don't mind falling, right? To be honest with you, skydiving, a lot of fun. Bungee jumping, a lot of fun. It's that hard at the bottom.
Yes,
that's the part I don't like so much, right? That definitely puts a sting in you. So anyway, speaking of pride coming before a fall, do you ever know anybody that's prideful and you're like, ooh, probably?
I can list off quite a few people that are prideful. Yeah.
And tell me about, no names, but just like an example of maybe it didn't go so good for them.
Someone's too prideful. Let's see here. Someone that's not willing to put the elbow grease into something.
That's fair.
And then will complain about not, climbing the ladder, so to speak, in life.
Yeah.
Because they're too proud to do something that's filthy or nasty or hard.
Right. They think they're too good for it.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Right. And you're like, okay, enjoy poverty.
Enjoy poverty. Yeah.
We're gonna get over here and get dirty, and
Yes,
it's probably gonna bleed some.
A little bit. Yeah.
Have you ever bled on the job?
Yeah. There was one time in particular. You remember you had to put that stop?
I do. I was hoping you to say that. So, my friend Brad McCain, he cut himself pretty bad. A mirror fell and cut his wrist, and he had pictures of like the arterial spray all over the bathroom. And he's like, I was gonna die, but these customers had this stop wound stuff, right? And I'm like, tell me more about this stop wound stuff. So I went and bought some and had it in the truck, but I never used it. It was just there, in case. It's better to have a fireman and not have a fire than to have a fire and not have a fireman.
All right.
So how'd you do it?
We were beating up tile with a hammer.
Yeah, that's normal.
I didn't have gloves on.
Also normal.
And a giant piece of porcelain came and smacked me right in the knuckle. And I can't remember which knuckle it is because all my knuckles are scar tissue now. But
same.
In a matter of like 3 seconds, I had a whole handful of blood.
Probably 3 gallons.
Yeah, it was a lot. I mean, I left a pretty solid trail walking out.
So he would not stop bleeding. He was like a stuck pig, right? The blood's just gushing out. So we're like, direct pressure, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's leaking.
Right? It's not going to end. And then we're like washing it off and all the first aid stuff because, we're pretty much experts at first aid. I mean, I'm basically a doctor without a license or any experience or anything. Anyway, so finally we're like, oh, the stop wound stuff. So we get the hose. Remember this? Mm-hmm. Back there was a flip house. Probably 3 years ago, I think. Yeah, so get the hose, we rinse it all off, we got alcohol ready, like douse it with alcohol, and I'm like, and then we're gonna put the stop wound stuff on real quick before the blood starts coming out again.
They look like gunpowder.
Right, and so it was wash off, cool, make the switcheroo, alcohol, switcheroo, we put this stuff on, it's gushing blood, instantly stops.
Yeah, it immediately stopped, yeah.
And we're just like, we both looked at each other like,
whoa. Yeah, I was getting concerned for a second, but after that, I was feeling all right.
He was getting lightheaded, but he got like dark-headed after that, I think.
I got dark-headed after
that. Is that what you call it whenever you're not lightheaded?
I got nighttime headed.
Yeah, he got nighttime headed. I don't know what that means. I like it. Anyway, get some stop wound if you do dangerous stuff. And also, pride comes before a fall. So a lot of times people are like, what do you mean sketchy? I'm like, well, it's not that bad. Just up here in the treetops. They're not even that high. Probably. The main house is 35 feet tall. I think we're probably only like 29 feet tall here. I don't know. But anyway, if you look down, let's take a look. Ready? Hey, Kenny.
What's up?
How tall is that ladder? Just 32 feet? That's not bad.
And
where's Drew at? He's down there somewhere, right? Yeah. Let's just take a look. Oh, I wish you could have a perspective of this. Oh, there's some big ladders. That gives you any kind of idea. Oh, you can see a shadow. Say hi, Kenny. Oh, don't fall. Ah. Terrifying. Oh, hey, I'm just hanging out with my friend Albert. Is that how you say it? Albert? Yeah, that's how you say it. So, Albert, what's your middle name? Oliver. That's cute. He is considered to be wise, but tell me why. Oh, because in Proverbs it says, Even a fool is considered wise if he holds his tongue. So, Albert, you just hang out up here and don't say anything, and everybody thinks you're smart? Pretty cool. Pretty smart owl. That's why they call you wise, huh? That makes sense. You keep away the woodpeckers. What do you say to them? Literally nothing. But they're afraid of you? Ominous. Quick question. How many licks does it take to get the center of a Tootsie Roll Tootsie Pop? That's for anybody that's old. Do you know? I think it's 3. All right. Good afternoon, or as I like to call it, good morning. Kenny, what did we do today?
We did a lot of siding. We got rid of the rest of the siding on Jeremy's trailer, which is a huge success. And
So that's exciting.
It's exciting.
Sorry. And so we got this side done, the back done, this over here done, this gable thing, whatever. Another one on the other side of that.
He's going
far
for
other gable.
He's going for an ominous McDonald's color scheme.
Yeah, we're not sticking with this. We're gonna do light gray with charcoal trim. It's gonna be pretty. So then over here, we see we put new around here. We did all the windows. I don't know if you can tell. See the black around that top window up there? Can you see that, Drew?
Mm-hmm.
So that is zip tape, and what you want to do is flashing tape, right? So wherever there's a window, you want to put that on there, and it sticks real good forever, or until it runs out. And then that seals off the window, and then you put your trim on that, and then you slide around that. So speaking of forever, a lot of people, Kenny, talk about, I want to be in heaven, but then they don't want to be in church. They don't want to spend any time in prayer. They don't want to read the Bible. They don't want to like spend any time with God. You're like, so you want to spend forever with God, but you don't want to spend any time with God? Does that feel right?
No, absolutely not.
No, because I remember when I was a young Christian, right? And I read in the Bible, I'm like, la-di-da, oh yeah, check mark, I do that, yeah, I do that. I'm like, ugh. It said, for whoever confesses me before men, I will confess before my Father in heaven. Jesus says this. And whoever denies me before men, I also will deny him before my Father in heaven. And I'm like, but I kind of want to be like a secret Christian, where I was just like, me and you, God, we got this, but like nobody else needs to know, right? Because I still like got my reputation of being cool or whatever, which I wasn't really that cool. I'm still not, for the record.
That's a fact.
Do what?
So that's a fact.
Yeah, see, Drew knows it too. So, but I was like, yeah, no, I want to hold on to the world and then hold on to God too. Like, I want my free ticket to heaven, but I don't want to have to like sacrifice stuff.
No, because effort is for the birds, man.
Yeah, and I'm not a bird. I'm a human being. Is it a human being?
Human being, yeah.
A human being, like a pinto? I don't understand things. Anyway, here's what I think. Like, if you're serious about like, hey, when I die, which is probably coming up sooner than you think, I want to be right with God, you ought to be right with God now and start spending time with him now, because later on he'll be like, I never knew you. That has got to be the scariest thing in the world. Like, the most horrific thing I could possibly imagine is you get to the end of your life, you think, me and God are good, and he's like, I never knew you. And you're like, I only have eternity to pay for this. It's kind of a big deal. Maybe get it right. Look, if you're thinking to yourself, should I go to church tomorrow? Yeah, you should. Come to my church. I'll buy you lunch afterwards. I'm not that hard to sit next to. I do take a bath before, which is important.
Yeah, that's important, yeah.
Anything else you got to say, Kenny? Change your freaking water heaters.
Yeah, change your water heaters. It's just like anything else. If you don't put any effort into it, you're not going to get anything out of it, so.
True story. All right, love you too, bye. Oh, hey there. So, maybe you got a house that was built in 1952, back when this was a watermelon plantation. I don't know, maybe you do. And maybe at some point, some genius was like, let's put this ugly rock on here. But then, 70 years passed, you're like, nah, I don't want that there anymore. So then you're like, we'll bust it off. That'll be easy. Incorrect. It's not easy. Not even fun. So what you got to do is attack it with your hammer. Let's see if this works. I don't know. Yeah, basically just sucks. There you go. So, like with anything, if you're trying to destroy something, you want to look for a weak spot, okay? Lions do this. They're like any predator, right? They will go, ooh, there's the weak, there's the old, there's the, not paying attention, those kind of people. And you want to attack them first. So you want to look for a weak spot and then just attack that until it gets bigger and bigger, until you can just watch the whole wall crumble. This is how they do it in societies. This is how they do it. You know, this is how the devil gets you. He finds a weak spot, a little chink in your armor, and keeps attacking until the whole thing's torn down. Now we're gonna use our powers for good, because we're good superheroes. So we're gonna tear this down, just so we can make it back beautiful again. So, as you can clearly see, we did some siding over here. You guys have been paying attention, then you'll know that. But if you look up, we still have so much siding to go, because it is a big house. The guy that lives here is not a cool guy at all. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a wonderful Monday, and we'll update you here soon. Hopefully this rock will be gone by then. Bye-bye.
John, quit biting your nails, man.
Oh, sorry. That's embarrassing.
Oh, you.
Oh, you.
Oh, you.
Stop biting. Biting your nails is not a good habit, especially if you're a plumber. And let me tell you why. Ew, do I have to tell you why?
I didn't need that image.
No, you don't need that image. It's real crappy.
Poop.
Ooh, it's underneath your nails. You can't get it out, and then you just chew on it. No thanks. Anyway, as you can clearly tell, we took off all of this rock over here, and then we put plywood back here, so we had a solid surface, and then we put a vapor barrier, which is synthetic felt, and we got that on, and now we got it trimmed out with Hardie, and now we're starting to put Hardie on, which is so very exciting. Now, let me tell you something. In life, if you're doing something big, which is pretty much all we do, right, we only do big things.
Yep.
It's important to celebrate small milestones, because if not, you're going to get discouraged. Right?
Yeah.
It's a true story. So if you look at this, you go, oh, it's going to take forever. Right? Yeah. You will be like a deflated balloon. You'll be so depressed, and you won't get anything done. You'll just sit there thinking of all the reasons why it's going to be so hard. Or instead, you're like, look, we got this much done. Look, we got past this little hill. We got past this little mile marker or whatever, right?
All right.
You have to do that if you're taking a long trip. If you're like, it's going to be 26 hours, it's going to take forever. Or
It's the same deal if you're like trying to change a bad habit or whatever.
literally anything that you do, if there's a big thing that you can't reach quickly, you have to celebrate small milestones along the way.
Yep. Was it setting your anchor?
Oh, right. So check it. When you want to tell?
No, you tell it better.
All right. So when you're rock climbing, okay, and I'm not talking about indoor rock climbing, which I love, by the way. And if anybody wants to go, hit me up because I'll go with you. But when you're rock climbing for real, when you're going up a sheer face of a mountain, have you ever done that?
Yeah, no.
I have. So you start going up and you're climbing, you're free climbing, right? There's nothing holding you. So if you fall, you fall.
Right.
But then you have spikes with you and you find a crack that's something solid and you drive a spike in there and there's like a loop through it and you put your rope through there. Because once you climb some more, if you fall from that point, you will only fall
back to your anchor.
Back to the last time you put in a stake, right? So it's important in life that you drive stakes in too. So if you're trying to stop a bad habit, then you got to have something like some rite of passage, right? Somebody that recognizes you and says, you're no longer this person, now you are this person, because then you don't fall past that, right? You don't fall all the way down into the abyss. You just fall to that last thing and then you can climb back up and get on that horse again. Do we have setbacks? Yes, we have setbacks in life.
Everybody has setbacks, right?
Right.
And it's all about the small things. If you try to change too much at once, you have a tendency to fail and fail bigger. But if you do focus on the small things and take one thing at a time, then next thing you know, you're looking down and you're 1,000 feet in the air.
And you've gone a long way, right? You've driven a long way or flown a long way or done a lot of work or whatever it is. And you look back and you go, we've done a bunch of cool stuff. I mean, but seriously, we have. I mean, Kenny and I have done some amazing, mostly Kenny, have done some amazing things. And so is our camera op, who doesn't want to be named yet, but we're getting there. Amazing things, truly amazing things. I hope you guys are doing amazing things. Let the small things be something that excites you. And pretty soon you'll look back and be very excited what you did. All right, look at you. Oh, hey there. So, as you can clearly tell, we did some siding last night. Now, we had to bust up all this rock. And you can see it's down here in piles. And then we filled everything in, and then we put Hardie up. And now we're gonna start going up and doing high stuff, which is so exciting. Now I want to tell you guys a story. I was reading my devotional this morning, and hopefully you guys do that because it's important. And it said, Peter was a fisherman, which we all know. He was out there, he fished all night long, he caught nothing. Kind of sad and defeated, he comes in like, but I'm a good fisherman, how did I not catch anything? And then he sees Jesus. And Jesus says, throw your nets on the other side. And he's like, whoever you are, whatever. So they do, and they catch so many fish that their nets start to break. And two of his boats start to sink because there's so much weight. from all these fish. He comes to the shore and he sees Jesus and falls immediately down on his knees and he says, "Please leave, because I'm a sinner and I know that I don't deserve to be near you." Now, I want to stop right there. The first time I walked into a church, I felt like lightning was going to strike me because I was not a good person. And I know so many other people that that's the exact same thing that they think, is like, when I walk into a church, lightning's going to strike me because the holiness there will see the evil in me and just want to consume me, because I know that in my heart that I'm not a good person. But then Jesus reaffirms him and says, leave everything you've got and come follow me. And Peter does. 3 years later, Peter denies Jesus when it matters the most. Not only does he deny him, he curses. He cusses at this person. "I don't effing know Jesus," right? And you're like, "Oh, you've seen so many miracles. How did you do that? Like, what is your problem?" And then he realized what a horrible thing he had done. And he thought, "It's over for me. I'm done." And he went back to fishing. And then Jesus rose again. And he went out and he was fishing, and Jesus said, "Throw your nets on the other side." And immediately he knew, this is my Lord. And he jumped out of the boat and he swam and he got there. And I was there on the Sea of Galilee. So I've been to Israel. It was 4 years ago that I was there. And he gets there and Jesus is cooking fish and he says, "Peter, do you love me?" And he says, "Lord, you know I love you." And he says, "Then feed my sheep." And he says it 3 different times. But remember that Peter denied him 3 different times, right? And so he makes him say it 3 different times. And when I was in Israel, our guide said, "I think that this was Jesus' way of saying, me and you are good. I know what you did, and we're good. I knew you were going to do it before you did it, but we're good." And I would love for Jesus to come to me and say, "You and me are good," because Lord knows I need it. We all do. And just to hear those words from his mouth, like, "I know what you did, I love you anyway." And then he brought him back into the ministry and was just like, "This is the rest of your life now, and the rest of your eternity." So anyway, the important thing here is that if you feel like you've done too much wrong to come to God, stop thinking that. Just go. Come to church. You're not going to get struck by lightning. You're going to get struck by love. And you're going to realize that the love of God brings people to repentance. Never does God say, "You're going to die, you're going to go to hell, blah, 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 blah," unless it's a warning. But even then, it's the love of God that draws us in. So come and be loved. All right, what do you think?
I like to play a fun game at work called Find the Leak. I'm not very good at it. Sometimes I'm like, "Oh, let's smash up the toilet." Not it. "Ah, the sink, let's smash that up." Not that either. "It's the shower. It's still leaking." Well, here's your bill. Have a good day. We all know that water doesn't flow uphill, but if you're lazy enough, you might actually convince somebody that doesn't know any better that it might in this case. I try to use every single plumbing part that they sell on every job that I do. I really go all out. After all, it's not my money I'm spending, it's yours.